Some additional sports other than wrestling. Let's start with that.
Yeah, I started basketball for church 3 years, softball for church 3 years. Done karate when I was younger. And that's about it. And then I started wrestling, and this is the only sport I've stuck with.
So you're pretty athletically inclined.
Very much.
Where and why did that start?
Wrestling?
No, I mean let's start with why you got involved in sports. Period.
Well, the basketball because I'm so tall.
Okay.
So that I played center the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all 3 years I stayed in the center. I was never nothing else. So that the tallness and just being athletic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then that transition to what was the other thing? Is that softball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But why softball? Just because?
Just because, yeah. One of the church guys at church was like, "Hey, we're starting a softball team. You want to join?" I'm like, "Sure." My brother, he's about 10 years older than me. He was in baseball, so I was kind of following his footsteps.
Okay. Now it's a big jump from that to karate. Well, I don't know which came first, but was karate first?
I think karate was first. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any particular reason behind that, or just needed something to help vent that extra energy?
Mm-hmm. Something to vent that energy.
Okay, I see. Well, that's good. Now we go into the wrestling. Why professional wrestling?
I don't know. I went to a show. One of my friends said, "Hey, come down the show." I'm like, "What's the show?" You know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "A wrestling show." I'm like, "Okay, I'll come check it out." The first time I checked it out, I got in the ring right after the show. I took a bump, and I'm like, "Wow, this feels pretty good." Everybody's like, "You look pretty good doing that. Once you start training," I'm like, "All right." So I started training, and I stuck with it. Here I am, 5 years later.
Okay.
I mean, it was a really small, hole-in-the-wall place, but it was awesome.
And you've traveled a lot doing this?
Oh, yeah. The furthest I've traveled is Mississippi, from Tennessee.
All right.
That's about 5 hours.
A lot of car driving, I take it.
Oh, yeah.
That's, you're waiting on that time where you're going to get those plane tickets so you can start zooming across the country.
Oh, no. Kind of scared of that. But I'll do it.
Flying or?
Flying, yeah. Flying.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to knock it there because I don't like flying. But I do it when it's necessary.
Yeah.
Only when it's necessary.
I'm scared of flying.
Hey, look, after 2 or 3 highly notarized plane crashes, I think I have just cause to be scared of flying.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say, I think there's a lot of all-girl programs that happen on the West Coast. I don't know if you have to put your name out to participate in that. No?
No, but I'm willing to.
Or put your name into the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, now let me get down to the other questions. You just told me about yourself, and you just told me how you got involved in your respective sport. I want you to address a myth or rumor about women that are involved in athletics, if you can think of one.
A myth about it? They say that it's not good for women to be in it. I hear that a lot.
You do?
Yeah. It's hard being a woman in this business. It really is.
Oh, that's yours.
Well, yeah, I guess so, but I'm just surprised that you hear it, that you shouldn't be in it,
Yeah, a lot of old school guys don't really like it.
Okay.
So,
when you tell somebody, male or female, that you're involved in wrestling, what's the initial response?
they think it's high school wrestling. I'm like, no, not high school wrestling. It's not like that. It's like the shows on TV that you see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I try to explain it to them and stuff, and I say the next person that says it's fake, I'm gonna get them.
You don't take kindly to that response, I think.
No, sir. I've blew my knees out, torn ligaments in my arms, lost a lot of hair pulling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, popped my back, popped my neck, had to go to the chiropractor. I mean, it's not fake.
So, if you had to describe it to somebody that never watched before, would you say it's fair to kind of say like, hey, it's like I'm my own stunt person for my movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So even though I know what the ending's going to be, I'm responsible for making it look good for you watching it, and I take every bump, every fall, all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
You bump the wrong way, you're gone. Seriously.
did your opinion about it change before you was in wrestling? I mean, did you feel like, oh, wrestling was easy before you walked into it?
Mm-mm. I've seen them guys. I mean, I've seen hardcore matches before I get into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I knew I was going to get hurt. I knew what I was getting into. I was nervous about it, seriously, but just I thought it was going to take maybe a month to train, but I was dead wrong. It took a lot longer. You know, there's a lot more to learn than just bumping and taking a fall. There's a lot more.
How long was your training?
I trained for 3 months, and then I got in the ring, but I got in too early. That
Why?
wasn't long enough.
Why do you say that?
My first match looked horrible. It looked horrible. It was too slow. I mean, timing was off with the other girl, and so.
So there's more involved up here than most people would assume.
Yep.
What you've had injuries in this business already?
Mhm.
What's the worst?
The worst is torn ligaments in my arms recently. I just come back 6 weeks.
How'd you do that?
Just wrestling so hard, and they hurt, and I just ignored the pain, and it got worse and worse, and finally they just tore it.
Okay. Wow. What is your drive behind why you do this?
The crowd, the screaming, yelling my name, them getting so into it, just performing in front of people.
Have you ever worked as a bad guy?
Oh yes,
You have?
yes, it's a lot more fun.
I almost, knowing so, I almost find that hard to believe. I was like,
Really?
That's just a bad guy? Come on, you're baby face. But I mean, now how you act when you're out there might be a whole different story. I mean, I might be missing the point, but you was good out here tonight, so that's what I see.
Yeah.
Let me see. How do you feel women like you are accepted in the business?
How do I feel when they're accepted in the business?
Yeah, in the business that you're in and sports in general.
Makes me feel good. Makes me feel I'm not the only one. Makes me feel like, all right, there's another girl. Maybe we can get with her, do more. Maybe she's got different stuff.
Is it an instant camaraderie when you come across other girls?
Yeah. Now, some are intimidating. Some are bigger than me. Some are meaner than me. But it's an awesome thing, especially all girl shows. It's great.
Much more family appeal or family feel. That's what
Yeah, got a lot more in common. So.
It's all right for you to learn. Let's see. Did you encounter any obstacles when you decided to begin this business?
Oh yes. Trying to remember everything. Remember the spots. Remember the finishers. Trying to think of what move to do next. That took a long time. Just the connecting, oh, I just did a move. Yeah, all right. Now I got to do another one. I can't just stand there. That was hard just to keep going. So that was an obstacle.
No brick walls presented by outside forces, like promoter or anything like that. Have you had any issues outside of the ring? No, everything's been smooth.
Awesome.
If for any reason this ended, is there any other position, job, sport, vocation that you would attempt?
Yeah, I would like to become a drag racer. I've always wanted to do that.
So you're gonna go from one
Extreme
high
to another.
extreme sport to another.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
That's the way I am. I love that.
I'll go there like that's not easy now. Why that?
I went to NHRA in Commerce, Georgia, I think it was, and I loved it. I mean, it was just so loud and so fast. And I was sitting in the bleachers, and every car that went by, you feel the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, the crowd was like so into it, screaming. I'm like, I want to be in their spot. I want them to be screaming for me. So I guess that was the main thing, and just a really fast car.
So you're an adrenaline junkie for crowds. You enjoy the power.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Okay. So easy to say that as long as you're out here in this or any other sport that you can get the audience going for you, you're going to be happy.
Oh yeah.
What's your ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal: be a good mother.
Your mom?
Sure am. One child. Little boy.
Y'all are surprising me. So okay, now how do you manage to balance this? Now that's the one common bond that I've seen with most of the people that I interviewed. That I'll say a good 70% of them are moms.
Really? That's great.
I mean, I'm talking about full contact football, and roller derby, and you got mothers doing this, and now both of you professional wrestlers, moms. I asked her, so I'm asking you, how is it that you're able to maintain the balance of being a mother and doing what it is that you do?
God's good grace. I'll tell you that. I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is all I do. I don't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I stay at home, take care of him on the weekends. I find a babysitter, and I come to wrestling. Sometimes he comes with me, too. He loves it.
When the days that you bring him, are you working heel or you working face?
Different shows, different. So
is he able to accept it?
Well, he's only 16 months old right now. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to kind of explain when he gets older, but...
No, that's very, very interesting that you're able to do that. So I mean, seeing that this is like the only gig that you do, how do you manage to make it work out financially? Yeah. Or is it just passion that drives you, not really dollars?
Yeah, that's just, again, God's good grace. Just, my parents helped me out or whatever, so...
So this is all passion for you.
I mean, in some shows I make good money. But
I'm pretty sure you make money, but overall, if I don't want to use the cliche that if I could do it for free, I would. I mean, there's a lot of things in the world people say, hey, if I could do it for free, I would. But life is different. Life makes me have to earn money. Mm-hmm. But if this was a perfect world, and if you could do this for $0 and still somehow survive, this would be it.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. But if you get it something, don't work for free.
No, never work for free. It's capitalist society. Always get your money. Your goal overall, where would you like to end up?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I don't like it at my overall goal.
Haven't thought about it. Are you thinking now?
Yeah, I'm thinking now. Overall goal, just to be financially stable, maybe have my own business one day.
Okay. So it's not necessarily wrestling related. Your ultimate goal.
Well, it would be if I didn't have a child, because I'm scared if I make it to the big time, somebody else is going to raise my child. So that's my only. If I know for a fact that he'd be all right and I could raise him and wrestle big time, big TV, travel all over the world, my God, I would. Just I think about my son first, so.
Well, that's a nice statement to say for the camera. Hey, this is the kind of stuff I have to have come across. Mm-hmm. So, ultimately, is parenthood beats out profession, or motherhood beats out profession. Mm-hmm. But you're going to enjoy it as long as you can possibly enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's fun, if it quits being fun, I'm going.
Well, hopefully politics and things like that won't start to take your fun away. I think it's a little bit different environment here where you don't get bogged down with all that stuff right now. So hopefully that's good. But let's just assume, hypothetically speaking, that TNA says, hey, why don't you come down to Florida and work with us? Does that change your outlook about it? Do you pack up, take your family, and move to Florida and work for them, or
If I can take my son with me, I'll be going.
that's the only requirement that you need? As long as they can take care of your family, your son, you're good to go. All right. Well, that sounds like a good deal. All right. Well, let me make my final closing remarks here. It's like, in your opinion, what would it take to see women athletes get the high dollars that their male counterparts get? Because in most cases, they don't earn the same amount of money. How could you push a woman to be a megastar?
How can I push her to be a megastar? Make her have confidence, I guess. I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I mean, now let's say that the who's a big star
in women wrestling? Who's a big star?
No, not women's wrestling, just women's athletics. It's easy for you to name like a male sports star, right? Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
you can go down the line and name a bunch of guys that make super money, John Cena, whatever. Can you name any women that equate to that? So, that being said, what do you think it would take to create that environment where fans would pay their hard-earned money to come and see, the women in the marquee position, the main event, or whatever the case may be?
It needs to be all women's sports in wrestling, period. Not have a man there at all. There are some shows that are all women, but they don't last. Someone needs to make an all-women show last for years and years. Get names out there and get them shown, So that's the only thing I can think of.
That's a good response.
Because there are some shows that been women wrestlers for just a couple of years and that's it. But you need to have WWE's been around for years, but it needs to be just all women, period. No men at all.
So
Not even a ref. It needs to be women ref, women commentators, women clean up, women taking the ring down. I'm serious.
So from bottom to top, it just needs to be that, so it can build a fan base and grow into being that environment.
Yes, sir. That's it.
I like that answer. That's good. I'm glad you put that on tape. So I'll roll with that one. Let me see. Is there anything else? Any other closing remarks that you have? And see how smooth and comfortable you've gotten over the camera over the course of this 18 minutes.
Okay.
See how well you've been talking all this time? Mic skills. This is boom. And any finals?
Nope.
No. Any plugs you have for your own show? Your company that you're working for, websites? See your website,
Well,
MySpace page, Facebook page, anything.
Well, I'd like to thank this show, TCW.
Okay.
It's got me a lot of different shows.
All
I
right.
love it here. There's no drama here. Everybody prays before the show. I love that. So,
Do you want any viewing fans to? Do you have a MySpace page?
yeah, it's Rock and Roll Roxy.
Rock and Roll Roxy.
Rock and Roll Roxy.
Okay, it's spelled just like it sounds. No special spellings like ROXXI or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
ROCK/C. For
Okay,
Roxy.
gotcha. I had to make sure I put that down. In fact, I'm gonna have to write it.
Okay.
Okay, so I will do that and make sure I put that on the screen for you. Thank you for your time and your interview, hon. You've been very good.